Hey everybody, Shiv here. Well, Donald Trump won the election. I'd like to celebrate. I would. But unfortunately, the only appropriate celebration I could possibly do right now is to drink several bottles of vodka and then swallow a bullet. I'm all out of vodka, and I just cleaned my guns. So that's not going to work. But, all jokes aside, it's kind of a really sad state of affair. And a lot of people on Twitter are bitching left and right. A lot of the people I know who don't even live in this fucking country are fucking irately pissed. Like, okay, I understand you don't like the guy, and that's great, but you don't have to fucking live here, alright? I mean, I can understand you really don't like him, but unless you're willing to move here and actually make a difference and vote, and actually, become a citizen, I don't really think you have much ground to really have an opinion on our political affair. I do, though, because I do live here, and I did vote. So, with that said, this is how Donald Trump won the election. Simplest, easiest breakdown. Alright, so there were 4 key states that basically led to Donald Trump's victory. The first one is the god-awful shithole of a fucking state I live in. Yes, I'm talking about Florida. The Wang of the United States. Yes, the only place in the United States where it literally feels like the hottest fart you've ever had 100% of the time. I'm not kidding. It literally feels like a hot fart outside every day. And it smells just as bad too. Alright, so Florida was key to Donald Trump's path to victory. He had a very narrow path, and almost everybody, the day of the election, was saying it was almost a lock for Hillary. There was no way in hell Trump could win. But then Florida went to him. And as it started going to him, all of a sudden, everybody's predictions went to shit. Like, instantly, New York Times revised their 85-15 spread to 50-50 the moment Florida started moving over to Trump. And then when it did go to Trump, it just started a domino effect. Alright? Now, the next state he really needed to take was North Carolina. That he took by a margin. Not a big margin, but he took it. And that started propelling him forward. And then all of a sudden, with those in his bag, the other key state he really needed to look at was Ohio. He takes Ohio, the amount of avenues of victory increased dramatically. And guess what? He took fucking Ohio. Then came Pennsylvania, and that was probably the second big shocker of it. Pennsylvania and Florida were the 2 big shockers of the election. He also fucking took Michigan and Wisconsin. These are states that traditionally go to the blue. I'm not even joking in this. They're normally blue. They normally are. But they went to him. So you have to ask yourselves, like, wow, is everybody just racist? Is everybody just stupid? Is everybody a misogynist? No, we're not. We really aren't. I didn't vote for the fucker. Alright, I want to put that forward right now. I voted for Jill Stein. She's the only candidate that was not a fucking criminal. And getting them to the 5% so they could actually possibly have equal representation during debates meant more to me than anything else. I don't really give a fuck about the Democrats, and I really can't stand the fucking Republicans. Having another option, I think, is the only healthy means that this country can have moving forward. Because obviously this 2-party system is only giving us shit and shit. Alright, moving off my rant. So how did he win Pennsylvania and Ohio? This is like the big thing that people keep asking me. It's like, well, aren't those normally blue states? How did that happen? I can understand why Florida went, because people in Florida are fucking retarded. Oh my god, I've gotten that message like 12 times today. And like the election's barely been over for fucking 2 hours. Thanks, guys. I love you too. So how did he win them? Well, one platform that he spoke of, and he spoke about it every goddamn opportunity he had. Trade deficit. Now, I'm not going to pretend like I'm an economics expert and I know all the geopolitical things about how our trade agreements work. I'm not going to pretend like I know this shit, because I honestly don't. But I know basics. And the basic tenets of his entire platform was as follows. We have made such bad fucking trade deals that people in America no longer buy our steel to produce things. No, it's actually true. A lot of buildings that are built throughout this country, that's not American steel in there. Even Trump admits it. Yeah, I built a lot of hotels. There's no fucking American steel in it because it's too fucking expensive. Yeah, you guys made trade deals that made fucking steel so goddamn cheap to buy from China. Why buy it from America? So what this ended up doing was shutting down a lot of steel mills, a lot of foundries, things of that nature. Oh, by the way, for those of you who don't know, Pennsylvania is a steel-producing state. So that resonated huge with them. They also produce a lot of aluminum and things of that nature as well, but regardless. I lived in Pennsylvania for a time. I got to see these steel mills operate. I got to see steel girders being made. It's actually a really cool process. It's scary as fuck at the same time. And, you know, a lot of them lost their jobs from a lot of these bad trade deals, like the Trans-Pacific Partnership. That's a prime example of this right here. And, well, when you start basically taking jobs away from people and giving them to other countries, you start devaluing that person. Mentally, they start feeling angry. We've seen this happen historically quite a bit. You go look at Germany after World War I. Same bullshit happened there. All right? So, yeah, they got really kind of angry. It's the best way I can look at it. And here you got a guy coming forward and saying, hey, you guys are getting fucked over by these trade deals. No, I'm renegotiating all this shit. Oh, fuck, that means I can have my job back? Sign me up! Is that really going to happen? Probably not. But still, people need hope. And that was the hope that they wanted in that area. Now we go to Ohio. Well, it's the same fucking deal there, just not so much steel, even though they do use a lot of steel. Ohio pretty much supported the auto industry in Michigan quite a bit. Like, a lot of the other accessories that were made for cars were mostly made in Ohio. Brake pads, oil filters, all sorts of shit like that. Mostly made in Ohio. Well, here's the problem. Auto industry decided to move a lot of their jobs to Mexico. Why? NAFTA. So, the North American Free Trade Agreement basically made production in Mexico a lot more inviting for American companies. Here's why. There's virtually no minimum wage there. There's also no regulations on like air handling quality, how you're supposed to do things. You don't have to worry about the EPA as much, or the Mexican version of EPA. All right, so the cost of doing business in Mexico is dramatically less than it is in America. Thus, you could produce the same product for less money. Now, you would think if it's going to be cheaper, they would pass those costs off to the American public. Nope, they keep the money, guys. I hate to tell you that. That's how business works. Keep all the money for themselves, pass no savings on to the fucking customer whatsoever. So yeah, here you got Donald Trump going, trade deficit. You guys are getting fucked. I'm going to fix that shit. Oh wait, you mean I can get my job back where I was making fucking $15 an hour? Yeah. Alright, sign me up. People want to work. People want to get paid. People want to have the same quality that they had previously. They don't want to work at McDonald's. They don't want to work at fucking Kinko's or some other fucking, minimum wage shop. They don't want that. They want to actually work the trade skill that they have. But we lost all that to bad trade deals. And that's an honest truth. That is a platform that he's absolutely 100% correct on. We fucked ourselves with trade deals. So, right there, he built up a strong support in those areas. And trust me, if you ever go to Pennsylvania, drive through, like, the western end of it. You'll see a lot of these, steel mill towns out there. That was his entire voting base. That equaled out to more than what Hillary got out of, like, Philadelphia and Pittsburgh. Though, if I remember correctly, Pittsburgh actually went almost entirely Donald Trump, which is kind of scary in its own right. But, regardless. So, yeah. That was the swing there. North Carolina, I'm not 100% sure on, but they do have a very strong evangelical base there, so that could swing a lot of stuff. Now, the other couple states that really kind of threw people for a loop were Michigan and Wisconsin. I still have yet to figure out how that shit fucking happened. I really don't. And it's kind of scary. But there are a couple things that you need to understand about politics in general, especially here in the United States. When you're young, you have a lot of more left-leaning philosophies, all right? And you think that your philosophies are obviously the better ones because they're from a newer perspective. And in many ways, you could be right. And I still believe in most of my liberal and socialist belief systems. I honestly do, with a few exceptions, because I'm former military and I have to protect my family. All right? When you're young, you're more idealistic. As you get older, as you start having families, as you start owning property, having to pay taxes on your house, your priorities kind of shift, and your political views because of those priorities shift. All right? So if you're now getting told by candidate B, it's like, well, you're paying too much in property tax. You know what? I'm going to help you out there. You're paying too much on income tax. You know what? I'm going to help you out there. You're going to go for that. No matter how much we'd like to believe that we're good fucking people, the reality is humans are selfish by design. Alright? We hoard. We deny access. Everything has to be for me alone. Fuck sharing with this motherfucker. Charity is a noble concept that was literally instilled upon us by religious doctrine. If it wasn't for that, nobody'd give anybody shit. We're greedy as fuck, guys. You ever look at a couple monkeys in a zoo? One gets a banana, they fight over who's going to eat that whole banana. They don't break it off and share it. No, they beat the shit out of each other to eat that whole fucking banana. That's humanity in general. Now, I know that's a very dim outlook on humanity, and I admit, I find the average mouth breather that exists on this planet to be not worth sparing a bullet in. But the reality is I do, because I'd like to actually believe there's some good in humanity. I know it's wrong, but I'd like to believe there is some. But as we change and get older, our priorities change. And, well, because of that, you start shifting your political views. So the base that the Democrats normally rely on constantly filters over to the other side. But here's the fun thing. That side, as they're producing kids, is eventually cycling back in. So it's this weird sort of, snake eating its tail syndrome here. It's very much an infinity loop. It always feeds back into itself. Now, getting back to Florida. Florida is a retirement state. A lot of people who live here came from other states. They're of an elderly age. So things like security, taxes, healthcare are really important. And I'll tell you right now, a lot of elderly here in the United States do not like Obamacare. Matter of fact, they hate the concept of Obamacare. They've literally seen their medical costs go up twice as much. Now, when you're talking about people who are living on a fixed income, and then they have to pay the difference from what's left over from Medicaid, and they're paying twice as much as they were, 4 years previous, that's kind of fucked up. That is really fucked up. So anything they could do to get rid of that made sense to them. Well, here you got one candidate saying that they want to expand as well as possibly improve it to try to make it better. Or you got one guy who goes, this thing is trash. I'm getting rid of this shit. Who are you going to vote for in that situation? Well, if you're an elderly person, you're going to go with the one that's going to give you the instant gratification of removing this. You don't really think about what other negative impact it's going to have to other people because, again, as humans, we are selfish individuals. Yay, capitalism. Now, there were a couple other things that led to the downfall of Hillary. The fact of the matter is that the leaked emails pretty much shitted all over her quite a bit, and the Democrats in general. What was done to Bernie Sanders is considered to be a giant atrocity, and that huge populist groundswell that he did, that grassroots effort that brought a lot more youth into the vote, was squandered. Holy shit, was that squandered. You could have made Bernie your vice president, and most likely what we would have seen if she won is he would have became a secretary of something, right? We would have seen that. Probably of agriculture or something that deals with education. Who knows? That's what would have happened. But in all honesty, a lot of people kept thinking after he conceded over that Hillary should have made him the vice president candidate. And as a matter of fact, there were lists that were published from those emails that actually had him on there. But they put him at the very fucking bottom. Like, no, this is the last guy we ever fucking want. There were emails in there that basically said, we need to crush this fucking bitch. Alright? They were just out to get him. And proof later came out that, yeah, it was an organized conspiracy to deny him and to slander him and bash him and basically crush him at every opportunity they possibly can. They rigged the election against them. There were a lot of accusations of impropriety at the primaries and caucuses. So many accusations. It was fucking hilarious. Like, wow, I have never seen a political party turn on itself as vicious as the Democrats did. And then Trump entered in for the Republicans. They're like, well, yeah, it's a giant shit show no matter where you go. So fuck it. Get the popcorn. Let's do this shit. So, yeah, that's kind of fucked up. But it is what it is. All in all, we survived Bush. I don't know how we survived Bush, but we did. Now we have to survive Trump. Well, on the plus side, Trump was not there saber-rattling against Russia. Matter of fact, Trump has had business relationships with Russia before. Trump is a solid businessman. He knows not to piss off a fucking customer. So, I guess the upside here is avoiding Cold War number 2, which could inevitably lead us into a nuclear conflict. That's an upside for me, I guess. The downside is everything in this country basically goes to shit. So yeah. The upside, Israel's going to be happy with us again. The downside is Israel is kind of a fucking fascist regime that's literally imposing an apartheid occupation. So, yeah. I'm sorry, I just really can't find too many upsides of Trump winning. But I could see a whole lot of downsides if Hillary would have won too. So, I guess the fact that we've kind of pushed the hands back on the doomsday clock just a little bit with Trump, rather than inching them a little bit more forward, is kind of a good thing. But it feels really dirty. Like, I need to go take a shower with bleach and steel wool. Dirty. So, oh well. Anyway, I hope this helped explain everything, and I hope that maybe you might understand why we did what we did, or why people made the choice. It's not that they're racist. It's not that they don't give a fuck. It's not that they are just misogynist or stupid or whatever. Some of them are dumb. I'm not gonna lie, they are dumb. And some of them are racist, and some of them are fucking misogynist. But in all honesty, the reality is, nobody liked Hillary. She was the establishment. Trump, for all of his flaws, for all of his fucking stupidity, was not the establishment. He wasn't a career politician. And we were tired of career politicians here, guys. It's just the God's honest truth. We loved Bernie, and they cheated us out of him. And a lot of people lashed out at the Democrats for that. So, yeah, that's it. Till next time, guys, stay safe. I can't even do a proper exit, man. I'm just that disturbed. Try not to lose your shit, man. Peace.